Good morning, everyone. So today I am going to discuss the semi-detailed lesson plan in teaching English in elementary grade. My content standard is the learners demonstrate understanding in verb forms, while my performance standard is the learners differentiate the difference between simple past participle to present perfect tense in a text. The objectives that I have is at the end of the lesson, learners will be able to classify the forms of verbs in a sentences, construct own sentences using the different verb forms, value the importance of knowing the timeline in this theory. The subject matter topic, my topic is about the verb forms, the reference is IE for Easy Integrated English for Effective Communication 5 by Luigi Mendoza, Aislinn U. Miranda, and Als M. Saltones. My materials are PowerPoint presentation, worksheets, and colored papers. My procedure is that number one, engagement. One, greetings. Greet all the students. Good morning or good afternoon. It depends on the schedule of my subject. The next one is prayer. Assign someone that will lead the prayer. Followed by the classroom management. Checks the alignment of the chairs and pick up the small pieces of trash under it. Next is the checking of attendance as the class monitor to check if someone is missing in the class. The energizer that I will perform in the whole class is let the students perform the roll over the ocean. It is a song and dance energizer. Next is a review. Ask the student about the past discussion. Tell them to share their ideas about what they remember about the topic. The review, let the students get their assignment about the timeline of Ninoy Aquino. My topic po kasi is all about the timeline of Ninoy Aquino and the verb forms. So ang ginawa ko na lang po is like the PowerPoint presentation po of Princess Di Mayuga. Yung pong previous topic about Ninoy Aquino ay ginawa ko na lang pong assignment para po mas mapagtuunan ng pansin yung about sa verb forms. Then discuss the timeline in the class. Allow students to explain their own groups. Then my motivation, before we start our discussion, I will allow you to watch a video presentation. Watch carefully and list down the important details about it. My motivation is that my students will watch the video about past participle verbs and they will list the important details about it and they will use it for my activity on the lesson presentation. The next after is that the motivation. After watching the video, get your assignment about the timeline of Ninoy Aquino. Get the past participle verbs that you use in making the timeline. List at least 3 past participle verbs and share your answer in the class. Yung gagawin po is that under in motivation after watching the video, um, after getting their assignment, they will get past participle verbs in that assignment that they made, and they will discuss and gather the past participle words and discuss it to the class on how they use the timeline with those participle verbs. While the lesson presentation, for today's discussion, we will going to discuss the verb forms. Remember, class, that if you have any clarifications about a topic, just raise your hands and we will answer it. Okay, class, to start, remember that verbs have forms. It can be represented at past or past participle, present. The use of present, past, and past participle may be differ to how it is used in a sentence. For example, class, I will give an example about it. I have fallen in love with the same guy 3 times. The underlined word have fallen is in the present perfect tense. Verbs in present perfect tense are formed by adding the auxiliary verb has or have plus the past participle form of the verb. Remember, class, this format in present perfect tense has, have plus the past participle form of a verb. Another example, she worked in Singapore last 2010. The underlined word work is in the past participle. Verbs that in the past participle shows a finished action at a definite time. You can also use the time marker such as last year, yesterday, last month, and so on. I have here a column or chart of the base verb, past simple, and past participle. These are also includes the verb forms. It will also tackle the verb forms of the word. For example, is begin. The past participle of begin is begun. The past simple is begun. The past participle is begun. Another one, the base form verb is choose. The past participle is chose. And the past simple, is chose, and the past participle is chosen. Another example, the base verb is lay. The past simple is laid, and the past participle is also laid. This is the example of verbs forms. The first one I will discuss is about the base verbs. The base verb form is the version of the verb without an ending. It is a simple verb. Wala siyang as, s, ing, or ed in a word. Next one, I will ask student to give their example about the given column. I will ask them to cite their examples about base verb, past simple, and past participle verbs. Next one is I will discuss the past simple form. Past simple form is a verb that usually formed by adding the, ed, or ied to the base form of the verb. For example, is the base form is walk, the past simple is walk, the base form is talk, and the past participle is talk. Next one is shout, and the past simple is shouted. The past participle, I will also discuss the past participle form. The past participle form for regular verbs are adding ed to the base form creates the past participle. For example, the pasta is cooked on time. The underlined word cook is in the past participle of cook. We add ed to its base form to form the past participle. Okay, in the part of the lesson presentation, I will ask the students to give their examples of verb form. Then after giving their example about the verb form, I will also discuss the difference between the simple past tense and the present perfect tense. The simple past tense is a verb tense which is used to show the a completed action took place at a specific time in the class. The simple past is also frequently used to talk about the past habits and generalizations. For example, you called Debbie. I talked to her yesterday. She borrowed my money last month. The simple past is formed using the verb ed. As you can notice, the verb in these sentences are in the simple past tense because it happened in the past or it happened on nakalipas na yung panahon. So the verb here are called, talk, and borrowed, and we add ed to form the simple past in a verb. The present perfect tense refers to an action or state that either occurred at indefinite time in the past. For example, is we have talked before or begun in the past and continue to the present time, has grown or impatient over the last hour. This tense is formed by have, has, plus the past participle. Like what I've discussed earlier, the format in making the present perfect tense is have, has, plus the past participle. The example of this is, I have watched this movie before. The next one is, he has completed his homework. Lorraine have learned in Lipa, have lived in Lipa since 1999. After discussing the topic about verb forms, we will going to proceed to generalization. The generalization is that we will be having a pick me game. Count to 1 to 20 and that will serve as your number. I will pick a number and that student must give example of verb in base form to simple past tense and to present perfect tense. This activity will show you how you understand our discussion for today. After the generalization, we will proceed to the application. The application that I will use is that I will give each student a copy of the poem entitled, I Have Fallen in Love with the Same Girl 3 Times. It is a poem about Cory Aquino. And this is also part of my topic, so I will use it as my assignment to discuss on the another meeting. List all the verbs that can be seen in the poem. My students should list all the verbs that can be seen in the I have fallen in love with the same girl 3 times. Each student must create a table of 3 consisting the base form, simple past tense, present perfect tense of a verb, like the column that I've shown earlier with example of it. You will be graded according to this criteria. In this assignment, in this application, my students will be graded according to the correctness of the word, 50%, and how they construct the base form or like that. That is considered as 50%. The proper format, 40%. The proper format is um how they follow the instruction about what they should do. And the last is number of verbs, 10%, on how many verbs they did list. Next is the total of 100%. The task must be done in 10 minutes. Is there any clarification? If none, proceed to your activity. The evaluation directions, write the simple present participle, the perfect past tense of the following verbs. Number 1, talk. Number 2, jump. Number 3, sing. Number 4, laugh. Number 5, shout. They were going to write the simple past tense of these verbs and be followed by writing the perfect past tense of these words. Further assignments, I will allow them to write the important details of the poem, I Have Fallen in Love with the Same Girl 3 Times. While these important details will help them to really understand the poem about ni Cory Aquino. And that's all po.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Please present your content standard. content standard. Right? The learners demonstrate understanding about verb forms, no? About, hindi mo pa diretsahin ano yun. The learners demonstrate understanding about verb forms. Ilagay mo na ano, from simple to simple,
Yes po.
past tense, then past perfect. Diretso mo na yun, ano?
Okay po.
Kasi verb forms, general. General yon. Then another that I observed, which should be the first, application or generalization? Sa iyong presentation.
Generalization po ang nauna po. Ang napauna ko po.
Hindi, dapat i-application.
Okay po.
After applying, then you go to generalization. Okay?
Yes po.
Right. Yun ang comment ko. How about from the group? So, how many are you? You are 8. Nasa na iba? O mamaya ha, mamaya ay screenshot tayo. Right? Okay naman ang
Yes.
performance standards. Magka-jive dapat yung content standard, ano?
Yes po.
Yun. Alright. Those are my
Thank you.
comments. Yun lang. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let us proceed. Okay, welcome. Babagoy sa lesson plan din yan, ha? Right.
Yes po.
Right, another. Next presenter, si Miss Pearl.
Biluna po.
Si Janelle.